guys, it's Gretchen and welcome back to my channel. So today's video, I am going to be discussing a topic regarding piercings. Shocking, I know. But it's one that I don't think is discussed enough, mostly because no one wants to admit that this could potentially happen. And that is, what do you do when a piercing just will not heal? It's incredibly frustrating. You've done everything. You just don't understand why this one piercing will not heal. You've had it for months, you've had it for years, and just no matter what, it just doesn't ever seem happy. So what do you do if you come across this? Well, the first thing that I would suggest is to figure out maybe what's causing it to not completely heal. Are there certain things that you could be changing up, doing differently, that may actually lead to it healing? Or do you need to kind of start over with it? So there may be a variety of reasons why it's not healing. We're gonna go over those real fast, and then we're gonna get to that one part that no one wants to hear. So the first thing you need to do is to make sure that you're not touching it. I know this is really difficult. You're constantly wanting to be like, what's it like today? And your first instinct is to touch it. Believe me, I am terrible about this. My forward helix that I've had for a year now, most times it's fine. It acts right, there's no problems with it. And then all of a sudden, it's just like, I'm gonna be a pain in the butt today. And it flares up. It's like, why are you doing this? Stop. Can you just completely heal now? And one of the reasons why it won't is because I'm sitting there going like, how you doing today? And I'm touching it. And it's like, no wonder it's not healing. So stop touching it. Leave it alone. Even if you've had it for years, like my forward helix, leave it alone. Another reason why it may not be healing is either you're not keeping up with your aftercare or you're doing improper aftercare. No one wants to deal with aftercare on anything, whether it's your tattoos, your piercings, anything like that. It's such a pain, I get it. But it's only twice a day. It takes maybe 5 minutes. You need to keep up with it. Just because you've done it every single day for 2 weeks straight doesn't all of a sudden mean that it's gonna be perfectly fine if you slack off. You need to keep up with it. You also need to make sure that you're doing appropriate or proper aftercare. So even if you're keeping up with it, make sure that you're doing the actual like good aftercare and not making it worse by doing something else. Something could be like you're using hydrogen peroxide to clean it instead of like a saline solution. That's an extreme example. I hope no one's using hydrogen peroxide, but it drives the idea home. Make sure that you're actually keeping up with your aftercare, but also make sure that your aftercare is appropriate. Another reason why it may not be healing is because of the jewelry that you have in. You may have an allergy to the type of jewelry you have in. It may be a low quality jewelry. There are a variety of reasons why jewelry could be the reason why it's not healing. Find out if you may have an allergy. There are symptoms that you can look for. I personally have found that my body prefers titanium. It does not react well to surgical steel. That also may be the case for you. Try different types of materials. Also make sure that if it's a newer piercing, you're not using something like acrylic or plastic or any other materials that are bad for an initial piercing or one that is still healing, quite obviously. Wait until it is completely healed before you use those types of materials. You could also be exposing your piercing to the elements. So this is anything that you may find outside or even products that you're using in your everyday life. So if you go outside and the sun is beating down on you, that can actually harm it. Getting something like a sunburn or even just like sun damage to it can actually harm it. Submerging it in water before you are allowed to can also harm it because bacteria gets into the piercing site and just eats away at it and it gets all infected and you need to make sure that you're aware of what's going on around you. Same thing with products. If you are like me and you wear makeup and you style your hair and everything like that, certain products can potentially get into piercing sites and just make it so that they won't heal. So if you're using hairspray, always cover up whatever piercing it is. Same with makeup. Try not to get the sponge or the brush or whatever to go across that piercing site because otherwise that can irritate it and cause it to get infected and keep flaring up. And we just don't need that. Another reason why it's not healing is your body just doesn't like it. Yes, this is a true possibility. Your body can be perfectly fine with all these other piercings you have, and then all of a sudden it just doesn't like this one. And so it's gonna be like, I don't really want it. Bye. That can happen. Totally normal. That's what a rejection is. It's trying to push it out. Same thing with just not healing completely. It may not lead to a rejection, but it's just never gonna be happy and it's always gonna cause issues. You may notice bumps, you may notice blood, pus. It may be fine every so often, but then all of a sudden that flare up kicks back up. Just keep in mind and kind of take note to how your body is reacting. Like I've mentioned before, my body obviously liked my conch because I never had issues with it, but every other person has had some kind of issue during the healing process. I honestly don't know why my conch healed so well. So, with all those little things in mind as to maybe why your piercing is not healing correctly, you know, things that you may be able to tweak yourself, we come to the last resort that no one wants to even think about. Believe me, I don't either. And that is taking the piercing out, letting it heal, letting it close up, and then trying again. Or not trying again. If you're like me, you don't really want to think about that possibility. You spent good money on that piercing, you spent a whole lot of time and effort on that piercing, you don't want to get rid of it. Especially for something like that when you have invested so much time and energy into. You don't want to essentially give up. It's not really giving up, it's trying again. If you truly want that piercing and you have done everything to make sure that it heals correctly and it's just not, that's probably your best option, is to take out the jewelry, make sure that it's clean and everything. You don't want to take it out if there's an infection in there, because then you risk the possibility of the site closing up with the infection in there, and that's just a whole other issue. You want to make sure that it is cleaned, infection-free. Fine if there's a flare-up going on. That's not the same as an infection, that's it just being pissed. And then just letting it close up, taking the time to heal, and then trying again. Maybe go to a different shop. Maybe something went wrong when the piercer did something. Not anything on the piercer's side, not anything on your side. Maybe there was just some bacteria in the air that happened to get in there. There are a variety of reasons why it would do this. So if you truly want the piercing and you've done everything you could, you've checked off all the boxes like I'm doing this, I changed this, nothing's working, take it out, let it heal, let it close up, try again. Now, if you got it done with a piercing gun, if you have been around on my channel for a while, you know I don't like piercing guns. That could also lead to it never healing. You may have accidentally shattered your cartilage because you didn't know any better. That blunt force trauma to the site just may lead to it never healing. That's another time we should probably take the jewelry out, let it heal, let it close, and try again. No one wants to think about that possibility. Believe me, I understand 110%. You've put forth money, you've put forth time, you've done everything, you've changed things so that it would heal, and it's just not. No one wants to think about that, but that might be the best option. But before you get to that point, that's like the last resort. You've done everything in the process, you know, you've made changes, you've tweaked things here and there, you realize maybe you weren't doing this correctly, and then you've changed it and it seems to act better, but then all of a sudden it flares up again. It's okay. It's okay, and you're not admitting defeat with it or anything like that. You're not giving up. You're just taking a step back, letting your body collect itself, and then trying again. So there are a variety of reasons why your piercing may not be healing even months or even years later. Believe me, it took roughly 2 years for the first helix piercing that I ever got. It took roughly 2 years for it to completely heal. Now I can pull on it, I can do all sorts of stuff with it and no problem, but it can take that long. You know, they give you the time frame of, oh, it can take up to a year. It could take longer than that. It may never heal. It just, certain things can work against you to make sure that it heals properly. Just make sure that you're doing everything correctly, because if not, that may be the cause of it. But if you are, there's that last resort that no one wants to think about, but it is an option. Let me know in the comments below if you have ever had a piercing that just never seemed to heal, and like what you did to kind of get it to a place where it's maybe not always happy, but for the most part it is. You know, what kind of things do you do differently with it than you do with your other piercings? Again, for me right now, my forward helix is like the bane of my existence because I've had it for a year and like 90% of the time it's fine. But then every so often it's like, I'm gonna remind her that I'm still here and I'm a pain in the ass. Let me know in the comments below if you have one like that. But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big ol' thumbs up. Go down there and hit that subscribe button wherever it may be, because I don't know. Even though I do, this is just my shtick now. Also hit that notification bell in case you want to know when I upload, and in case YouTube wants to let you know when I upload, because I would really appreciate it. And until next time, bye guys.